Okay, guys, so we are live and we are ready to go with episode 5 of the DCTV show, our weekly live stream that. Oh, there we go. We muted that. Our weekly live stream that we have started, I think, 4 weeks ago or something like that. We've been doing these streams. I haven't set a specific date. Last week it was Thursday. I was on with Canada Graphs. He came on. You guys can go check that out. And so, yeah, today we are doing Wednesday. Last night I was in Eric and Paige's stream doing the after party. So hopefully you guys like that. I always like tuning in when I can because it's always good fun when I can go with those guys and actually talk to them because, it's kind of in the middle of the night. But anyway, welcome to the stream if you are joining the stream. So today we got a few topics to talk about, but yeah, we got a lot less to go over, and I hope that everyone is in. Oh, we got 42 people already in the stream. Welcome to the stream. Say hi in the chat. Welcome Matthew, Speedy, Zara, Colin. Thank you for joining. And we got 50 people. Wow, it's a lot of you. Robert, hello. And so as we start the stream, as you'll say hi in the chat, welcome Flashverse and everyone. Owen, Dark Shadows, Katie, Lena, Stan, all of you. Wow, you guys are spamming the chat. Keep on spamming. Welcome, Marvin. And thank you for the compliment, Christoph. Yeah, so we're going to be talking about a few different topics today, but mainly it's going to be your questions. That is the whole idea of these live streams, that you guys send in your topics, your ideas, and your kind of theories. You can either send it into the chat or you can send it over via super chat. So super chats get, priority. We've explained this many times, but I like to remind you a couple of times in the stream. So all you need to do to donate via super chat and contribute towards the channel and get your questions answered is you go over to this tab, as you can see, and you can click show your support, and then you click super chat, and you can be like Gary. Obviously Gary was on the stream last night if you guys tuned into Eric's stream, and you can be like, is the Flash getting delayed further than February? But Gary style, however you want to do it. And then you can just choose however much you want. All right, so yeah, that is how you do that, and the super chat is obviously taking priorities. But you guys, if you can't do that, please be sure to just send in your questions via the chat. Keep on talking in the chat, and I've got a few topics. And if someone sends in the super chat, I will stop that and go back afterwards. So we're just gonna first off talk about a couple of things. And so in the title of this live stream, I kind of want to touch upon Melissa and the likelihood of her actually coming back, because this has been a question that lots of people have been asking me. I get this question so often whenever I send in questions for a video or something like that. The number one question I get at the moment is Melissa going to come back in a crossover? Is Melissa going to come back anytime? And kind of why did Supergirl end? And obviously, when will Mon-El come back? That is a big question. We answered that in last week's live stream, where Canada Grass has a bit of insight. It seems likely that Mon-El will probably return sometime later this season, due to all the current circumstances. But yeah, so welcome, Anastasia. Good evening from Greece. Good evening from London in England. In lockdown. Yes, that's always fun. And yeah, will Gary be here? Well, Gary was asking about the stream last night on Eric's after party, and so I presume Gary's going to come. I told Gary that it's either going to be today or tomorrow, so maybe we'll have to wait and see if Gary comes. I'm sure he will. But yeah, you guys can be like Gary. You can send in your questions via super chat as well. Anyway, let's get back to this. So yeah, the big questions I always get asked at the moment is in regards to Melissa returning. So I thought I would dedicate part of the stream to actually talking about that. Considering there's not that much new news, I kind of wanted to go over, some of your kind of questions, because it is a live stream after all, and I want to bounce back and forth with you guys. And so the reason why Melissa ended her contract and why Supergirl was stopping is because they came to an agreement, Melissa, the CW, Warner Brothers, Berlanti Productions, and they just came to the decision that, yes, this is a good point to stop the show. Obviously, due to current circumstances, having to, do a quarantine 2 weeks every time you come back from a break. As far as we know, they're only breaking from, they're going to have like a long break before Melissa comes, and then from around the end of January to August, apparently they're going to be filming kind of non-stop, which is crazy. So it's interesting to see that Melissa will come back in January, and then they will finish the season in August. Potentially, they may split the season into 2 halves, and we'll have to wait and see. Okay, Paigey, I'm sorry. I will hashtag shave. Yeah, I'm just lazy, all right? Anyway, yeah, Paigey distracted me. Yeah, so I wanted to... So Melissa, they end the show. Wow, he really got me off track there. So they're going to end the show, and then it's very, very unlikely that... Can we also get a dab? Can we get a dab? I don't know, Paigey. I don't know. Dabs cost at least £5, Paigey. So we'll have to wait and see. You didn't dab last night in the stream, so I think you're going to have to make up for it. Maybe later, Paigey. Maybe later. So yeah, Melissa, the show's going to end, and I think it's very, very unlikely that Melissa will return sometime, like in the year after. It's likely she will appear in the last crossover. We discussed that briefly last night, and I think it's very possible that she could return sometime in the future, but in the next few seasons, I think it's unlikely. So maybe when there's a big crossover one day, in like 2 years or something, we potentially may see Melissa return as Supergirl. Same thing applies to Steven as Arrow. It kind of depends on what they're doing, and is everything okay so they can go back? They don't have to quarantine for 2 weeks, and will they be paid as much as they were before? Because I think that is a thing in contracts in terms of returning to shows. If they start as a main star on a show for however many seasons, I'm pretty sure they have to pay them the same amount as they would for a normal episode. So again, it kind of does Melissa want to come back, and then does the CW and the network want her want to pay her that much? And what is the reason for her coming back? Is there a crossover? What's going on? So I think that pretty much answers the kind of question: is Melissa returning after Supergirl ends? I think it's possible, but I would say in the next year after Supergirl ends, I would say it's very, very unlikely, but maybe in the future. So yeah, keep on sending questions in the chat, and we will get round to them, and also send them via the super chat like I explained before, so you can cut in and we can talk about those questions. All right, now I wanted to go back and share my screen again, because are you doing Movember? No, I'm simply lazy, and I haven't shaved because I don't know. I've just been busy. That's all. I have no excuse. I'm not trying to do anything. Okay, so yeah. Anyway, let's go over to this page, because I wanted to briefly discuss what's going on with the Batmobile and everything. So if I stretch the screen out a bit, Here is Canada Graphs' photo. You guys can check out Canada Graphs' blog. That is just Canada Graphs at Weebly. And then also his Twitter's at Canada Graphs. He was also on the stream last week, so you guys can check that out as well. And so he posted these photos online, and I think he has a blog post about it as well. And this is our first proper good look at the Batmobile. We discussed it last night on the after party with Eric and Paigey. But I really, really like this. I think it's really cool. I really wasn't expecting a Batmobile and Batwoman. I don't know. I just kind of always associated the kind of motorcycle that Kate had to Batwoman more so than like a Batmobile. So I think it's very cool. It's very unexpected for me, at least. I'm not sure about you guys. Were you guys expecting the Batmobile? Let me know in the chat if you were. And yeah, I really like the kind of red going onto the black. Obviously, evokes her suit. You know, the red and black. I think it's really, really nice. And I like the emblem at the front. And yes, it's just a sports car. It's not like, you know, in the Dark Knight or the Dark Knight Rises or something. But then again, if you look at other versions of Batman, a lot of the time it is just a sports car. It's like, I think in the new Batman film with Robert Pattinson, I think it's a sports car as well. So I think it's really cool. I think it looks great. And let me know your opinions in the chat. I see Hamza in the chat says, I don't like it. And a few other people say that they like it, which is very interesting because I would say there's nothing wrong with it. I think it looks really nice. And then there was a few other photos that Canada Graphs posted of Javisa on set. And yeah, so, you know, just a bunch of photos. Go check them all out on Canada Graphs' blog so you guys can do that. And yeah, so it seems like some of you guys like it. Marcus says, I love it. It's totally awesome. Brandon says it's okay. So Brandon's a bit mixed on it. You have Dark Shadow saying, I like it. Beaming Frost says, I wish it could have been more custom. Yeah, that's the thing that I kind of wanted to, you know, that I kind of brought up, that the Dark Knight and the Dark Knight Rises Batmobile was a bit more custom made. It's kind of like a car you've never seen before. So obviously that's really cool, but I mean, a lot of the Batmobiles aren't that custom made, and I think this just looks really, really nice. But yeah, so keep sending in your questions and send in super chats whilst we still wait for Gary. We don't know where Gary is right now. I think we need to summon Gary. But Gary is nowhere to be seen right now, even though he said he would come onto the stream. We'll have to wait and see. Hello, Strive for Greatness. Welcome to the stream. But yeah, so apart from summoning Gary, what else? Let's answer some of your questions. So, is there going to be a new spin-off for Supergirl? Well, the spin-off for Supergirl is in fact literally what we're getting this year, which is Superman and Lois. That is a spin-off of the Supergirl because Superman was introduced in Supergirl. Superman in the Arrowverse is a Supergirl character, and so it is a spin-off off of that, and it's to do with all the kind of Kryptonian side of things, whereas, you know, like Arrow had the Flash spin-off, which was very different, but it, you know, he originally appeared in Arrow, so at the end of the day, Superman and Lois is a Supergirl spin-off, so the answer to your question is yes, there is a spin-off coming. Why Guillotines Gaming says, why is a different Batwoman? I'm guessing you mean why is there a different Batwoman? So the reason is Ruby Rose, who played Batwoman in season 1, wasn't going to return for season 2. I believe it was due to a whole host of reasons. Ben equals COVID. Do I equals COVID? I don't know where you got that from, but maybe I do. Maybe I have COVID. Maybe I'm gonna like, you know, spread it through the screen to you guys. So watch out. but you might have it as well. So I don't know. We'll see, Pagey. Anyway, well, where am I? I don't know. Yeah, maybe I am the leader of Leviathan. I think I would be a good leader of a supervillain team. Okay, so let's go back to where we were. So why is there a different Batwoman? So yeah, Ruby left the show. They either were going to recast her, create a new character, or stop the show. And Batwoman was pretty successful for the CW, so there was no reason for them to properly stop the show. So they got a new person in, that being Jafisa Leslie, and they just made a new character up. We don't know much about Ryan Wilder, but that is the essential reason why they created a new Batwoman, because Ruby left. That is as simple as it gets. We need a spin-off for Dreamer and Brainy. Yeah, that would be cool if we got a spin-off sometime. I would say my most anticipated spin-off would be for Supergirl. Like if they did a Legion of Superheroes show, I think that would be great. If they don't do it in the style of Legends, but they do it more in the style of like Supergirl or The Flash, just like a normal kind of ensemble team up, but less like Legends, because Legends kind of went downhill from season 4. But yeah, welcome Leslie, welcome to the stream. We have a member of the DCTV show here, so thank you Leslie for always helping out and everything. Hi, when Melissa on Supergirl? I presume you mean when is Melissa coming back to Supergirl? Melissa will come back to Supergirl in January. That's what we know. After a 2-week quarantine, then she will start filming for Supergirl, and that will be filming for its final season. So that's going to be a big thing, and there's a lot of anticipation for that. But yeah, thanks, Leslie. Thanks for tuning in. And so keep on sending your questions, guys. Send them in via Super Chat or via just a normal chat, and I'll answer your questions. Remember, you can do the Super Chat via clicking the $ and clicking Super Chat and typing in whatever you want, and you can change whatever you want. So that is how you do it. And again, thanks to Canada Grass for showing me how to share the screens. It's a big help. Because I think it's very, very insightful if you guys know what to do, if you want to do that. And we are still waiting for Gary. I have no idea where Gary is. I guess, I think Gary is from America, so maybe it's too early. Maybe Gary is still asleep. So, yeah, that's Gary's own fault. But welcome my variety channel. Let's read some more questions whilst we wait for people. Gary is in the multiverse. Aren't we all in the multiverse? Because 10:34 a.m. Pacific time. Yeah, maybe Gary's asleep. I think Gary is from like somewhere in the middle of America. Possibly he's still asleep. So maybe I should start it later so Gary comes in, or otherwise he's gonna miss it. Let's read some of these. Why would they need to? The credit card statement came in the mail yesterday at Gary's house. He has been banned from live streams of Super Chat for a month. Yeah, I guess like after last night, Gary's mum found his bank statement, and so he got banned. I think Gary's probably banned from being on YouTube and doing anything. So we'll have to wait and see if Gary ever shows up again. I crisis Australia now. I'm confused. What do you mean by that, Leslie? Do you mean that there's a crisis in Australia? Is it because Paige's from there? I don't know. You can clarify that. Welcome, Jamie. Welcome to the stream. Nice to always see you around here. Any updates on Superboy? Well, we haven't heard anything about Superboy coming, but that is a theory going into Supergirl's next season. Possibly it could happen at one point, but you know, I mean, initially everyone thought that Mon-El was Superboy when the pod first landed at the end of season 1, and we opened season 2. Everyone was like, "Oh, it's Superboy," but then we found out, oh, it's Mon-El. He's from Daxam and everything, so that is not, in fact, Superboy. Okay. Yeah, so nice. We got like 45 people in the chat right now, excluding Gary. I'm just like, Gary's like, he comes sometimes. He either comes at the end of a stream, or Gary I think Gary's asleep half the time, or he's taking a walk. Last time he came on a stream, I don't believe he was in the Canada Graph stream the other day, but the stream before, he was there on the 30th. So it's been like, Gary hasn't been on a stream in nearly 2 weeks. Wow. I don't know where Gary is, but he's missing. Gary is missing, guys. The reverse Gary returns. We've got the false reverse Gary in the chat. We got Gary Newbury instead of Gary Gammon. But yeah. Let's what was I going to talk about? Yeah, Gary is a legend, and oh yeah, in terms of Superboy, we'll just have to wait and see. I don't know if he's actually going to show up or not. Probably quite unlikely, but yes. Okay. All right. So let's talk about Superman and Lois briefly. Because Superman and Lois is a show that is currently filming, obviously a Supergirl spinoff. Gary, stop getting rid of Gary. Come on. Well, I know that Gary watches all the videos. That's the thing. He'll watch this on playback. So Gary, you better show up next time. Wake up earlier, or don't take your walks. Yeah, so Superman Lois, they're still filming their pilot episode, which is crazy. I know pilot episodes shoot for a lot longer, but they've been filming since, what is it now? 11th November? When have they been filming since? Like a month? Something like that. Surely they must be near the end of their filming. It's been a long while, and I really think that it's crazy. I just can't believe it. And considering the fact that they are only still on their pilot episode, and apparently, I'm just looking at my phone here because apparently they're only halfway through their pilot. They are going along really slowly with their Superman and Lois pilot, and yeah, it's crazy. So I think that is the reason why, talking about Gary's normal question, which I talked about in a video the other day, funnily enough. If you go check out yesterday's video, Superman and Lois was probably the main reason, as far as we've been told, as to why The Flash was delayed to February, because they are literally like halfway through, still only halfway through filming their pilot episode, their first episode. So that is insane how long it's taken. And so I guess like in the next week or 2 weeks they're going to be finished with that, and then they're going to have a Christmas break like all the other shows. So what have they got, like a month and a bit to film, and then they'll break, and then they'll come back for like near the end of January, and then that's when they should have premiered. So they would have only had like 2 episodes or so in the bag, like 2 or 3 at max in the bag. So that is very obvious why they delayed Superman and Lois to February. Sadly enough, it dragged along The Flash, and The Flash is ahead of them. They're on about episode 3 right now, possibly pushing episode 4. But Batwoman's the most ahead, and yeah, so we should see some sort of promotional material for Batwoman pretty soon, I would reckon. Also, be on the lookout for a first Superman look, because it was leaked online via Canada Graphs, the first look at the new Superman suit. So I'm presuming you will be we will be seeing that very soon. Gary Newbury in the chat says, since before quarantine started, we heard a lot of rumors of Red Death appearing on The Flash. All I can say is, please. Yeah, I mean, we've all kind of heard those rumors, and I don't know how likely it is, because we've been theorizing for about 2 seasons now that finally the Red Death will actually show up, and I think it's likely. He's still in my predictions as to who will be the main villain of The Flash, and yeah, it is likely, but at the same time, it's just a bit, it's been 2 seasons since they referenced Red Death, and so I think it's just getting to a point where it's like, yeah, Godspeed's going to be in this next season, but is Red Death really going to be in the season? I don't know. Let me know in the chat. Do you guys think that Red Death is going to be coming in this next season as like one of the main villains? I mean, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Thank you, IK Benils. IK Benils. So people are going off about Ralph and Hartley being fired. So they just need to write Ralph off. Gary Newbury says no one can replace the actor. His actions online can't be justified, but they don't need to recast Elongated Man. So as far as we know, with everything happened with Hartley, obviously Hartley's not returning, but the Elongated Man, Ralph, will return for at least one episode this season. Eric Wallace, the showrunner, has promised some sort of closure for fans of Ralph, and you'll be seeing him shape-shifting using his abilities to have a different appearance. You won't see Hartley Sawyer, you will see someone else, because he uses his shape-shifting abilities in order to be there and to be fine. Okay, right. Welcome, EMB Football News, and everyone else who is just joining now. Okay, I think this is a good question from Flashverse. We're going to rank our favorite Arrowverse shows, even though you just deleted your comment. But let's rank your favorite Arrowverse shows, send them in the chat. And in the meantime, whilst you guys think of that, remember, and this is another reminder for you guys, you can go to the super chat here and you can get your question answered straight away. You can do as little or as big as possible that you want. You can do $2, £2, whatever your currency is, and you can ask a question and that will be answered straight away. Like, will Melissa... Oh, I can't even type. Will Melissa return? You can answer anything, ask anything, and so that is via the super chat option, which is just like that, and you click that. So it's just this button here, and you guys can send that in, and you'll get your question answered straight away. So yes. All right. So let's read some of these other ones. Well, actually, we said we're going to rank our favorite Arrowverse shows, so let's go ahead and do that. So right now, for me, I'm not talking in terms of like just the last seasons. I'm talking in terms of, overall. It seems that for me, The Flash is always my favorite. But as you guys know, I love Supergirl. I've watched Supergirl since the start. So it's, very, very promising in terms of my rankings. It's very close between the two of those, but I would say for me, number 1 is The Flash. Number 2 is Supergirl. Number 3 is Arrow. Number 4 is Legends. And then Stargirl and Batwoman go with that. I can't really rank Stargirl and Batwoman because I don't know. I've only watched one season and it's kind of hard to tell at the moment, but I would say roughly it's the Flash number 1, Supergirl number 2, Arrow number 3, Legends number 4, and then Stargirl and Batwoman, and they're kind of like the same, but I reckon I'm in the end gonna prefer Stargirl over Legends, because season 1 was really good of Stargirl. I really enjoyed it, so I'm looking forward to season 2. Batwoman was good, but they're making a big change, so we'll have to wait and see if it turns out to be as good as we hope. So yeah. So in the chat, we've got Gary Newbury, who says, I got the hiccups, guys. Gary Newbury says, The Flash, Legends, Supergirl, Black Lightning, Batwoman. We have Johnny the Berry, and Johnny Berry says, Supergirl, Stargirl, Batwoman, Black Lightning, Flash, Legends, Arrow. Wow, Arrow is last. Also, the Flash is pretty low. Flashverse says Arrow, the Flash, Stargirl, Legends, Batwoman, Supergirl. So Supergirl is last for you. Arrow's first, so it's kind of a complete reversal, which is very, very interesting that you guys have such differing opinions to me and to a lot of us. Yeah, so there's a lot of range from what you guys like, and that's very, very cool. Yeah. Okay. Oh, I'm tired. I had to stay up last night to go on Paigey and Eric's stream because it's at 3 a.m. in the morning in the UK. So I'm a bit tired. Sorry if I seem a bit tired. Favorite Arrowverse scene? I honestly couldn't say. It's really, really hard to tell because I mean, there's just so many scenes, like I love the musical crossover. There's loads of great moments like the Flash and Supergirl. They're always my favorite moments. Some great moments in Supergirl with Mon-El and Kara, or Kara and Alex, or Kara and John, or Barry and Cisco, Barry and Iris, Barry and the villains like Barry and Zoom. Maybe like the Flash versus Zoom. I think that's one of the coolest ones. But yeah. Welcome, Walker Dead. Welcome to the stream. Nice to have you along with us. We are currently still just people are sending in questions, and you can send in questions via Super Chat still, and that's just via the option on the side with the dollar sign. And yeah, so welcome, Walker Dead. Nice to have you back. Yeah, so I don't think I have a specific favorite scene that is my favorite. Yeah, I'm sorry for the yawning. I am very tired from staying up so late for their stream last night. My favorite Arrowverse episode is the Flash's 100th episode. That was the perfect Flash episode. Well, I love the 100th episode for the Flash. I really liked it, and especially seeing Zoom come back and different versions, Savitar and Reverse Flash, but especially Zoom, because Zoom's my favorite Arrowverse villain ever. And so Katie Blake says favorite episode of Arrowverse. Favorite episode is a bit easier because I love the musical crossover, or I love some of the Crisis on Earth X episodes. Some of them are amazing. Also, World's Finest, the Flash and Supergirl first crossover ever. That was one of the coolest moments. Gary is here. Gary, welcome to the live stream. Gary, we've been waiting for you. We've all been talking about you. Reverse Gary is literally in the chat, Gary. Gary is trying to out Gary. Okay? So we're very happy that you're here, Gary. Thank you for the super chat and welcome, Gary. He escaped the Speed Force. Gary Newbury, got him out and everything. And yes. All right. So Gary Gammon sends in the 199. Gary is back. I'm so hyped. I'm alive and I'm ready. I'm ready to answer Gary's question. Here we go. I answered this in the video the other day. Yeah, Gary is caffeine for me. I can stay awake now because Gary was in the chat last night. I don't know how many of you were in Eric's chat, but yeah, it was 3 a.m. for me, and you can probably tell that I'm tired now. But anyway, yeah, party time. Gary's here, so sends in 199, and Gary says, "Is the Flash getting delayed later than February?" The classic Gary question. Well, Gary, I think the answer to that is very unlikely, and I'll explain it because the Flash is on track, and the only reason it got delayed to February was because of Superman and Lois. So I explained this, Gary. I know you missed this, Gary, but basically Superman and Lois is still halfway through filming their pilot episode, so their first episode of season 1. So they're very far behind, and they're going to go on a break for Christmas sometime in December. And then when the actors come back, they're going to have to quarantine again for 2 weeks. And so filming won't start again till January. And that's when Superman and Lois was supposed to film. So that is the reason why it got delayed. And so because the Flash, by the time of their break in December, they're going to have about 4 to 5 episodes in the can. They're going to be well ahead of most of the shows, although Batwoman is probably going to be like 5 to 6 episodes in. So yeah, thank you for the super chat, Gary. Thank you for your support. We've been waiting for you, and we're glad you're here. Gary, where were you? Where were you? Were you asleep? I got a feeling you were either asleep or were you walking? I'm not sure. You'll have to let us know, Gary. But yeah, so all of you can send in more questions, and you can send them in via super chat or via the normal chat, and I'll get through to them. But again, priority takes for the super chats. That's why Gary's question was just answered then. Reverse Gary says that he was sleepwalking, and yeah, it's party time. Gary Gammon is here, and yes. Anyway, again, Gary sends in another super chat, 199. Do you think the rest of the shows are getting delayed? I mean, Gary, in terms of all the other shows, if any of the shows are going to be delayed, it's probably going to be Superman and Lois. I think they will be fine because they are filming right now, and although they're very far behind in terms that they are only halfway through their first episode of the season, and they're going on a break pretty damn soon, I think they will have about 2 episodes, possibly 3, if they return in January and then they film for like a few weeks before their premiere. So I reckon they're going to have 3 episodes by the time of the season 1 episode 1 premiere in February, late February, along with The Flash. So if any of the shows are going to be delayed, it's going to be Superman and Lois. And however, I don't think it's very likely, considering they want to air it and they don't want to air it too late so it doesn't clash with their full release schedule in the autumn, in October, because I reckon they want to go back to their normal schedule. So thank you for the super chat again, Gary. Much appreciated. Also, earlier, Paigey was in the live stream, Gary, and Paigey said that Paigey was talking about you. I think Paigey's still a bit mad at you, Gary. Still from last night, and yeah, so he was wondering where you were. Just saying. I haven't heard about that Strive for Greatness, so I can't really comment on that. Okay, let's answer some more questions, and whilst we wait for any more super chats to be sent in, we will check in the chat. Flash First likes how I kept pissing Paigey off in the after party. Thanks. I mean, that's what I'm best at, right? Pissing off Paigey. Um, and did you see that? So I kept on being sent these images of Paigey by someone in the chat, and so I just kept on changing my name and kept on changing the avatar to Paigey to his face. So I mean, it's all fun. I really like being in the after party. The only problem is, like now, um, it's very late for me when the after party starts. So that's why you don't see me very often. That's why recently you'll see more of Canada Graphs, because his time is much more similar to Eric's time. And I mean, Paige's time kind of works out with mine at some points in the day. Sometimes he's asleep, but we're awake. But sometimes it's like pretty good. But yeah, so it's all a bit of a weird thing, especially with time zones, because I'm in England, Paige's in Australia, Eric is in he's in Virginia, so he's in America on the East Coast, and then you have Canada Graphs who's up in Canada. So it's all different time zones, and it's very, very messy in terms of timings. But I think America and Australia work better. England and Australia work sometimes. Canada and England work pretty well. That's why I could do Canada Graphs on my stream last week, and maybe he'll come back soon. It's just all in terms of timing. So Gary sends in another super chat. Thank you very much, Gary. Thanks for your support on the channel as always with the $4.99 super chat. And Gary says, I think Superman and Lois will come back February 23rd, but I think we'll take a break after 3 and 4 episodes just for 2 weeks to give them time. So that's a good question, Gary. And as you can see, this is the question here. And I guess it's kind of good if you pull up the chat, the question in the stream. But there we go. You guys can read Gary's question. So in terms of Superman and Lois coming back February 23rd, I agree with you, Gary. I don't think it's getting delayed. But you say that you think that they will take a break after 3 to 4 episodes just for 2 weeks, just to give them time. I think it's possible, because like I said, Gary, what you have is by the time they get to that episode 1 premiere, they're gonna only have 2 more episodes probably that they filmed. At most, maybe 3 episodes, but I don't think it's very likely if they take a long break during December and they have to quarantine when they come back. So I may be agreeing with you here, Gary. I think that possibly after about 3 to 4 episodes, probably 3 episodes if we're actually guessing, there could be an actual break for Superman and Lois, because they may need time to catch up if they're only a few episodes ahead of schedule. And if they plan no more breaks in terms of filming, they got to plan breaks in terms of scheduling and actually airing the shows. So, Gary, I think you're right here. I think it's very likely that Superman and Lois will premiere February 23rd, but it's pretty damn likely that they may have to stop at some point during when they're actually filming so they can catch up. So very good question, Gary. I think that's one of your best questions ever, because I 100% agree with you. I think it's very likely. So thanks for the contribution, Gary. Thanks for the super chat. And yes, lots of people saying they live in Texas in the chat. So lots of people from Texas. That's cool. Nice to have you in here. I think Gary is from somewhere near there. I saw your Twitter, Gary, yesterday. I think you're from near there. Flashverse says, how do you pronounce Tyler's last name? Is it pronounced Hoechlin or Hecklin? I've always said Tyler Hecklin. I think because it's written kind of Hoechlin. But then when I've been at events, and I've actually met Tyler Hecklin myself, when I've been at those events, and I've actually talked to him, and he's signed some stuff for me, and we were talking about Superman and everything. So everyone's referenced him as Tyler Hecklin. So I would call him that. Hello, Sarah Varga. Welcome to the stream. Thanks, Harry Potter here, as Paigey calls me. But yeah, so I think it's heckling. But yeah, Gary Gammon in the chat says, "But when the okay, let's here goes nothing. But when the tape breaks, I think they will be short breaks." Okay, so that's easy. Yeah. So when they do take their breaks, they will be very short breaks because I think they would only be breaking in order to catch up. So it would be like 1 to 2 weeks, probably 2 weeks if they want to be safe, but it could just be 1 week if they do delay. Because I think if they're at least 3 episodes ahead, I think that's pretty safe. So I agree with you, Gary, again. I think you're thinking well today. Thinking very good. You're not being ignored, Ahmed, but it's just a lot of people commenting in the chat, and I can't actually get through everything. That's why we prioritize the super chats, because that is, the kind of order, and they stick out. But yeah, Harry Potter Flashverse, correct. I'm from North Carolina, unfortunately. Beaming Frost is from Nevada. We had some people from Texas. And then I think Gary's American as well. So we got a lot of Americans in here, and I'm pretty sure it's like sometime in the morning for most Americans. I think on the East Coast it's more about midday right now, as far as I know. But yeah. All right. Flashverse says Oliver's identity should not have been revealed during the ending of season 6. It should have been revealed to the public after he died during Arrow 8x10. I don't remember Arrow 810, but I have to go back and check. Oliver's identity should have been revealed during the ending of season 6. I guess so. I just need to go back and watch the episodes because I don't remember that much, if I'm honest, Flashverse. But yeah, so sorry about that. So Gary Gammon sends in the 199 super chat. Thank you once again, Gary, for your many contributions. And Gary says, "Are you mad at me?" Gary, like I said in the after party yesterday, well, last night, yeah, I'm always a little bit mad at you, but at the same time, I love you, Gary. We love you, Gary. You're always welcome here, and you're much appreciated on my channel. And I think we featured you in a lot of videos recently. We support Gary, don't we, guys? Gary is here in the chat, and so yeah, even though I'm a little bit mad at you sometimes, Gary, but really, we love you. Flashverse says, "I can 100% guarantee you I'll destroy Paigey in a FIFA game. Maybe you will. Paigey just won't stop going on and on about his new FIFA and the PS5 and everything." I mean, I'm behind on all of that because I haven't played a video game in like when was it, like 1 to 2 years ago. It's been a while since I played video games. I used to play video games, but recently it's just I haven't been into video games. I don't have a console with me or anything, so yeah. Flashverse says, "Theory time, Gary is Bebo." I think Bebo may be Gary, or is Gary Bebo? I'm not sure. I think Bebo can like transform him. Maybe he is Gary. We'll have to wait and see. From Ohio, Mohammed says it's 2 in the East Coast. Oh, okay, so it's a bit later than I thought. I thought it was kind of like 12ish. Eric Robin says, "You are absolutely better than Paigey video, Ben." Thank you very much. That means a lot, Eric. But yeah, we can all pity on Paigey. Mohammed says, "We all know Ben's favorite episode is Girls' Night Out and favorite villain is Bug-Eye Bandit." Yeah, I'm pretty sure that is it. I mean, considering my favorite episodes of Arrow is the Mia Smoke episodes, yeah, pretty much sums me up. Gary Gammon with the 199 super chat. Thank you once again, Gary. How many breaks do you think Batwoman will have? So I think we'll see Batwoman's trailers, promo, and general promotional material a lot sooner than the other shows, considering it's coming out in about mid-January. It's kind of hitting that proper date that we thought The Flash would hit, but obviously The Flash got delayed because of Superman and Lois. Flash vs. I support Arsenal as well, so um anyway, but I haven't followed football in quite a while, but always supported Arsenal. Because I live like 20 minutes, not even 20 minutes away from it right now, and I was born literally so close in North London. That's where I'm from. So yeah. Anyway, back to Gary. So how many breaks do you think Batwoman will have? Yeah, so Batwoman is the furthest ahead, and currently they are on track to probably finish about 5 to 6 episodes before a Christmas break, which is inevitably coming in December, and then they'll return sometime and sorry, I got distracted. Anyway, so I don't think Batwoman is going to break much at all. I think maybe once. Everyone always talks about like March Madness and stuff. Like there are bits in the year when on the same day as the Flash, like on a Tuesday, they would normally have like NFL games and like different types of American sports and different events that go on. So that's why they would potentially put a break in, or they do it so that they can catch up and not be too far behind, like maybe Superman and Lois will do. So, Gary, I think in terms of Batwoman, I don't think there's going to be that many breaks. Maybe one break in their season, maybe two, but I reckon there'll be very short breaks. I don't see any big, long breaks because they are going to have about, I think, 19 episodes it was. They are going to have 19 episodes or so, and so that's a lot to fit in. And say it was 19 episodes, that's about 19 weeks straight, which would, I don't know when that would finish if they start in January. But I presume there's going to be a few breaks. So that's my answer for you, Gary. I reckon there'll be like maybe 2 breaks or so in Batwoman season, but they would want to get Batwoman ready for a October release date if they can. And considering everything going on, if there is a coronavirus vaccination and things are better, and I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but some news reports saying that things are looking pretty good in terms of finding that vaccine. They have tested it on a lot of people. If that's the case, I think the CW will really try and ramp back to their normal October schedule so they can get their full release dates, because I don't think they're going to just throw out a bunch of shows just at this same time period, because it doesn't make sense having no shows in the fall but then having loads in the summer. I think they need to spread it out more. So Gary Gammon says he is from Texas. Nice. I've always wanted to go to Texas. It looks interesting, and maybe I'll go there one day. I've been in America. Where have I been? I don't know if you've been there, Gary. I guess you have. I went to Comic-Con last year, met Paigey for the first time. That was fun. That was very fun. We watched all the Arrowverse panels together. So we got to hang out with Paigey for a whole day. Wow, amazing. We were going to go again this year. We were actually going to stay in the same accommodation with a bunch of other people from Discussing Film, if any of you guys follow Discussing Film. So we were going to do that this year, but obviously Comic-Con got cancelled, and potentially it'll be on next year. And if it is on next year, I will be going in July if there's like a vaccine or something and things are better in America. Obviously, right now in America, pretty iffy. But yeah, so I went to Comic-Con last year, San Diego, and I was in LA. And then I went to LA once before that, and then I've been to New York twice. So only really New York, LA, and San Diego for me. That's where I've been. Obviously in New York, I've been to Manhattan, to Queens, to Brooklyn, stuff like that. I prefer New York. I think New York's my favorite. But yeah, so I would want to come to Texas at some point. So, NFL games are on Monday, Sunday, and Thursday, not Tuesday. Thanks for clarifying that, Mohammed. I don't know much about American sports and their premiere dates and their episode dates because I don't watch them. So thanks for the insight. But yeah, I'm pretty not in the know in that. I don't really watch sports here ever, so it's been a while. But I used to like football and stuff, like English football, like soccer to you Americans. Flashverse says you should read The Three Jokers. Issue 3 is so good. Yeah, someone mentioned it last night in the stream. I'm not sure if it was you, but someone mentioned it, and yeah, I guess I'll check it out sometime soon. Hello from India, says Alex. Welcome, Alex. Well, you've been here for a while. Flashverse says United Arab Emirates is the most beautiful country ever. I wish I was Emirati. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. So I could live here forever. I'm originally Turkish and British. Oh, okay. That's cool. Yeah. All right. So Gary Gammon sends in the 199 super chat. Thank you once again, Gary. And Gary says, I think they will come back in full 2021, but they have about 5 to 6, maybe 7 episodes. I think that's what you meant, Gary, right? 5 to 6 to 7 episodes. Wait, so I'm guessing this is what you mean, Gary. I guess you mean that once they come back in full 2021, which I think they're planning to do, they'll have like 5 to 6 to 7 episodes in the first half of the season, and then they would play the normal back half of the season after January, when they would normally return, because the shows normally go on break around mid-season time, which is sometime in December, and then they come back after the mid-season break, which is about 4 weeks, 5 weeks, something like that, and then the shows return in January. So I agree with you. I think well, I don't know about 5, Gary. I think they're gonna have more than that. I think they're gonna have like 6 to 7, because normally the average is about 8, actually. And considering that Supergirl is doing 20 episodes this season, and Batwoman's doing 19, The Flash is doing 18, I would say it's pretty likely that at some point, what was I going to say? I would say it's pretty likely that they're going to have a kind of normal episode count in the next seasons. Hello, Red Eye, and hello, Sophia. Welcome. So Gary Gammon says, yes, I don't think they will have the normal episodes in the full 2021, probably 6. So Gary thinks 6. I would say probably about 7, 8. I mean, the average is about 8 to 9, so I would say 7, 8, possibly 6, Gary. But thank you for the question, Gary. Thanks for the super chat once again, much appreciated. And we got someone else sending in the super chat. We got Comic Bros 654. Thank you so much. And Comic Bros comes in with the controversial statement here, guys. Supergirl was crap and cancelled. So thank you for the super chat, Comic Bros. Much appreciated. Supergirl was crap and cancelled. I mean, you're entitled to your own opinion, obviously. But as you know, Supergirl, I really like Supergirl, and Supergirl was ending. It's not specifically cancelled. So yeah, I mean, if you don't like it, maybe you could see it as it being cancelled. But yeah, thank you for the contribution. as per normal. Remember, guys, you can send in super chats via the chat, and you can just like Comic Bros or like Gary. You can just click the super chat icon, click super chat, and type in something. You can do like, is the Flash getting delayed further than February? This is Gary's nice question, and you can send it in. So thank you all for this. Yeah, so in the chat we got Supergirl isn't bad. It wasn't that bad, man. Supergirl is a great show. I'm just not as connected to it, but it's great. Mohammed doesn't like Supergirl as well. I am a huge fan of Supergirl. Eric says. Uh, yeah, so it seems like most people really like Supergirl, but there are some people that don't like it, and that's totally understandable. And thank you for your contribution once again, Comic Bros. Walker Dead says, Ben, do you think Green Arrow and the Canaries will be picked in 2021? Well, it seems very unlikely now that Green Arrow and the Canaries is going to actually happen, because lots of other shows have been confirmed via all the talks recently and everything. And yeah, I don't know, we'll have to wait and see. But Green Arrow and Canaries seems very unlikely, and I know it would please Paige to no extent if Mia was the Green Arrow permanently. But yeah, so we'll have to wait and see if that actually turns out to be true and it will happen, but it's very unlikely as of right now. Thank you, Gary Newbury. Take care, Ben. You rock. Keep kicking us. You keep kicking us. Reverse Gary. And also the original Gary Garriman. Gary Garriman in chat says Supergirl will probably have like 10 in the summer and 8 in fall 2021 and 2 in January. I think Supergirl season 6 will go into fall 2021. Yeah, Gary, I completely agree with you. I think that is very, very likely. And also, I think the main fact is that Supergirl is filming till August. And so they're going to film. They are filming right now. And Melissa will return in January. She will pick up her scenes that she missed when they were filming recently. And obviously they're going to have a big break. I think the whole of December they're having a break off. So I don't think Supergirl is going to be filming many more episodes until Melissa comes back. Maybe like one more episode or nearly a whole episode or something. So you're right, Gary. I think Supergirl will have about 10 episodes in the summer. There's a good episode number. They will break, and then they will return in fall 2021. Probably kind of September time. I don't see them waiting a bunch of months. I see them coming back a bit faster. So it all depends on Supergirl's release date. If they want to continue into fall, I would say that they are probably going to pick a late May date or a June date. I would say June is the best point for them to premiere Supergirl if they want to continue into the fall for Supergirl season 6 for the back half to premiere. So if they start in June, they could realistically go on till how many episodes would that be? You could go 8 episodes is about 2 months. So if they go to the end of August and then they air a few more episodes, maybe so instead of your 10 number, Gary, maybe they do 9 episodes and then they break for the whole month of September for like 4 weeks, kind of like their mid-season break they would normally do. And then for October, when they would normally premiere the shows, that's when Supergirl comes back, and Supergirl will have about 11 more episodes. And you mentioned them maybe going into 2021 with 2022, sorry, with the final 2 episodes, kind of like what Arrow did, because they premiered their episodes in 2019 and then they took a break, and then they did their final 2 episodes, I think, in 2020 with Crisis, and then also with their finale episode. So I think you may be right, Gary. I think maybe 9 episodes for the summer, then they break for the whole of September, then they come back, and then, they kind of go with the same schedule that The Flash is running, but The Flash instead is running for the next season. It's running for season 8 at that point. So I think that will work, and good question, Gary. So I reckon that could be happening that's pretty damn likely, not gonna lie. Yeah, so just keep on sending your questions, keep on sending those super chats, and we will be sure to answer all of them as we have been doing. Again, one last reminder, you can send in your super chats by going near the chat and then going to the super chat sign and typing in your question. It can be any question, I'll answer it straight away, and it can be any amount that you want. That is all you gotta do. Okay, so let's answer a few more of these questions. We have hit the hour and 5-minute mark, so sometime in the next 10 minutes or so, we're going to be heading off away from the stream, but it's been really good and it's been really, really enjoyable. But I mean, maybe I'll extend it a bit more if you guys keep on sending in questions and everything. I'm willing to stay around. I don't have much else to do as of right now, so yeah, we can extend this. I mean, we don't have to end it at the hour mark. If you guys are willing to stay around and keep on sending in questions, then we can keep it going. So yeah. Okay, so Flashverse in the chat says, do you think we will see Manu Bennett's Deathstroke appear on Batwoman? I hated how he wasn't in the final season of Arrow. I think possibly he may show up, but considering Deathstroke's going to show up in the Snyder Cut and everything, I don't know how likely it is. They've had problems in the past bringing Deathstroke back because of DC wanting to use him in the films and everything. So I don't know how likely it is he would show up on Batwoman of all shows. I mean, if Green Arrow and the Canaries actually got picked up, maybe that would be a thing that could happen. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Oh, and also, if you guys didn't realize, this is a DC, like it says DC show, DC hoodie, which is cool. That was from DC Fandom. I don't know if any of you guys participated. I guess you watched the panels for DC Fandom. It was really good, and yeah, so DC sent me this, and it was very cool, along with some other stuff. Okay, Eric, that's fine. I mean, as long as you've stuck around for as long as you can, that's awesome. Who's your favorite Arsenal player? I mean, I don't have a favorite anymore because, like I said, I'm very behind on football. I haven't been watching football in a long time now. I prefer tennis. I will watch tennis, but that's just because I like playing tennis. I like playing football as well, but I haven't played in a while. But my favorite Arsenal player was always I always liked Aaron Ramsey, and Robin van Persie when he was there. So I mainly followed football when I was younger, from the ages of 4. Like in England, everyone likes football. Yeah, so from 4 till 15 maybe. I follow football a lot, and I've been to a lot of games. Aubameyang equals a GOAT. Yeah, I know. Aubameyang's great, but anyway, Gary Gammon in the chat says, do you think Cisco is still mad at Barry about his brother? So, Gary, I think everyone is kind of a little bit mad, especially at you. You heard last night that Paigey and everyone, I'm always a tiny bit mad, but I love you still, Gary. Kind of Graph's always a bit annoyed, but Eric's not. Anyway, let's answer your question though, in terms of, is Cisco mad at Barry about his brother? That was a long time ago, Gary, so I don't think he is that mad anymore. I mean, possibly he still holds a kind of resentment for him, but I don't know how likely it is, considering that it was a long time ago now. So we'll have to, see maybe they bring it up at some point again. We'll have to wait and see. But For now, I would say no because it was such a long time ago. But yeah. Okay. Sorry, I'm just catching up with the chat. Hopefully that answered your question, Gary. Okay, we got another super chat, Jordan Arnes. Thank you for your support as always, Jordan. You are much appreciated here. And Gary sends in 99-cent super chat. Thank you, Gary, as well. Thanks to both of you, and thanks to all of you who have been supporting the channel. I really, really appreciate it. I love you guys all coming into live streams and everything. It's always great. Okay, so let's answer Jordan's question right now. So, in terms of Flashpoint, do you think it was a messed up opportunity and a missed opportunity, I guess you mean? I like Flashpoint, but you're right. You're right. It's kind of a bit of a waste, considering that what happened with Flashpoint is they kind of hyped it up to be a kind of very huge thing, but in the end, it only turned out to be that it was like 1-2 episodes with a few ramifications in the next few episodes after that. But yeah, so yeah, overall maybe a bit of a missed opportunity, but I really liked how they started season 3 with that. I thought the season 2 cliffhanger was amazing. That's definitely one of my favorite moments in the Arrowverse, the season 2 ending when Barry runs back in time and he stops Reverse Flash. Maybe that's my favorite moment ever in the Arrowverse. I would say that's probably it, actually. So for all of you who were asking earlier, I would probably say that's my favorite moment. But yeah, it's kind of a missed opportunity. There was a lot to do in Flashpoint. If you guys have read Flashpoint, which I recommend you do because it's a very good comic book, I would say, yeah, probably a bit of a missed opportunity. So thank you, Jordan, and thank you, Gary, for your contributions towards the channel. Much appreciated. Thanks to the super chats. Okay, so I like Great Britain because most of the people there care about football. I live in the US, where many people only care about American football and baseball. Yeah, I mean, when I hear about American sports, everyone talks about baseball, American football, and basketball. We don't even have basketball properly here. I mean, people play it, but there's no professional teams. American football sometimes comes over to England, but like once a year or something. Baseball, we kind of have a different version. We play softball, but that's not played professionally. So yeah, we don't really have baseball here, but baseball is pretty cool. But yeah, it's mainly football, cricket, and tennis here, and rugby as well. Alex says, I kept ignoring you when you predicted future Barry was Savitar. You kept on. Oh, that's interesting because I was so sure about it by the end. I made this one video the night before the Flash's episode when they revealed Savitar. I was like, yeah, it's definitely future Barry. Yeah. So that's interesting that you was like, no, I kept on ignoring you. Gary Gammon says, where's Tom? I don't know where Tom is. Tom's been around, and he was in last night's stream with Eric and the after party with Paigey, but I don't know. I don't know where specifically he is from, so maybe he is busy because I don't know how time zones work for him. But yeah, I like it when Tom comes because he's very good. I like you, Tom. I always see Alex in here. I always see Beaming Frost. Zara's in here. A lot of you guys, I recognize all of you. So, and Jordan and everyone else. Flashverse, obviously. So I don't know where Tom is, but let's read some of this. Flashverse says, Ben, let's go easy on you. Messi or Ronaldo? Messi all day. I don't like Ronaldo. Never liked him because that was when I was following football and he was at Manchester United and they always used to play against Arsenal and he would cheat and stuff. So Messi, yes. Anyway, let's back to DCTV, back to the Arrowverse. Ben, do you like Savitar? I saw that question. Somewhere. Thanks, Beaming Frost. I'll see you later. And it was Alex who said, Ben, do you like Savitar? Yeah, I like Savitar. I've always liked Savitar, and I always thought it's really bad how people kind of look down upon him, and especially in comparison now that you've had like Cicada and you've had the Thinker and everything, and like even Bloodwork to an extent. I think Bloodwork's better than most of Bloodwork is definitely better than Cicada, and he's better than the Thinker by far, and he's better than either, but he's still not very good. And I think Savitar was really good. I was really intrigued with the whole story, and I think it shows because if you guys were around my channel at the time, we had a lot of attraction. There was a lot of videos that were kind of blowing up all over the place because everyone was so interested about Savitar. So yeah, I had a great time kind of theorizing and watching the show, obviously, and I like Savitar. Gary Gammon sends in the 199 super chat. Thanks, Gary, once more. And Gary says, you think Cara and William will get engaged? Gary, is this... Oh, Beaming Frost is back. Welcome back. Much appreciated. Gary, is this your first Supergirl question? I mean, you've asked about Superman and Lois, but that's different. Congrats, Gary. I think this is your first Supergirl question that you've sent in. Do you think Cara and William will get engaged? Ooh, Dark Shadow says, Gary, Ben doesn't ship Cara and William. Okay, Gary. I'm not sure who you ship, Gary. Maybe you ship like the Legion ship. Maybe. But I think, yeah, they definitely set up something with Cara and William last season. There's no denying that. Even if you're not a fan of Cara and William together or the idea of it. So there is a possibility. I think in terms of theorizing, it's very likely that they could be together. I don't know if they're going to get engaged or anything. I would say that's kind of unlikely, but the potential of them being together, Cara and William, is likely because they set up this season. However, it's very likely. Oh, Gary says he likes Cara and Monel. Go on, Gary. We like Gary even more now. Gary, we like you more and more by the second. Because Cara and Monel are the best. And I was about to touch on just that thing, Gary, because people have been theorizing Supergirl will end with Cara going to the future, being back with Monel, join the Legion of Superheroes. I would love that. I think that would be the perfect ending. But it's no denying that's very, very likely that William and Cara could be a thing, considering they did set up something to do with that. And I'm not against it, but I really like the idea of Cara and Monel kind of like she goes off to the future. I think that would be a great ending. So good question, Gary. I think it's likely that they could get together at some point in the season, but I think it's very likely that Monel will show up, and we talked about this on last week's stream with Canada Graphs. If you guys checked out that stream, we actually talked about this because it's very hard for actors and for the shows to get in actors who are not currently in Vancouver at the time of filming, and for people to cross over. And it's likely that Monel could be in it because of the fact that you have Chris, who is married to Melissa, and they are part of the same family. They are part of the same bubble. So Chris could go to work on Supergirl and have no problem in terms of restrictions because he poses the same threat in terms of virus spreading that Melissa does because they're part of the same household. They're exposed to the same things. So it's very likely that with Chris probably moving to Vancouver, considering that he and Melissa have a child, and Melissa will be in Vancouver for most of the next year, that he could show up at some point if he wants to. But very good question, Gary. I think we all have our own opinions. A lot of you guys saying Kara Monel forever in the chat. Hi, Paige. Welcome to the stream. And so I think a lot of us are in agreement in terms of that. So yeah, I hope you want that as well, Gary. Alex Singh says, I love the 100th episode of Supergirl. What about you, Ben? Yeah, I really liked it. I thought it was a really good episode. You got Monel returning. Obviously, that was the highlight for me because I love Monel. I think he's such a good character. I think Chris is amazing. And so you had like Rain coming back, my favorite Supergirl villain. Rain was amazing. And then you had, Mr. Mixus-Pilic showing up. Obviously, it was a different version. I think Thomas, the new actor, really killed it. And he's supposed to come back this next season. Can't wait for that. I did a video on that the other day. It's my latest Supergirl video. You guys can check that out. So yeah, I agree with you, Alex. This episode was amazing. You watched the review before watching the episode. That's funny. You probably got spoiled then. I'm sorry about that, Alex. But yeah, the 100th episode was so good. I really loved it. What else do we have? Remember, you can send in questions via Super Chat. I don't know when we're going to end it. I think we're just going to keep on going for a little bit longer. I mean, it's 1 hour and 20, but like I said, I got nowhere to go. So keep on sending your questions. Keep them sending via the chat or via Super Chat. It's all up to you. And all you need to do is click on this icon. And again, for the people who've been in the stream, I'm sorry, but it's just to remind people how to do it. And you can say, is the Flash getting delayed? So you can send in any question you want, and it can be any amount that you want. And I guess it all depends on your currency. Mine's obviously in pounds because England. But yeah, it's all up to you. Yeah, don't worry, Flashverse. I'm fully aware of that. I know it's just easier if I say United Arab Emirates because I don't know, for some reason UAE sounds very hard to say off the top of my head. But yeah, some countries block super chats. I don't know why they do it. Some countries block access to the community tab. It's very weird. So I'm not sure. But thank you for all of you who have been sending in your super chats and sending in your questions. All of you who are here, it means the most to me that you guys are sticking around this whole time. Amazing. I love seeing you guys. Okay, Alex says, which show had the better 100th episode, The Flash, Arrow, or Supergirl? So Arrow's 100th episode was in the first big crossover, I believe. That was when they showed up. Yeah, they were on. It was Heroes versus Aliens. I remember we were covering it on the channel. And I remember that was a big thing. And their 100th episode was part of the crossover. So it was their Arrow's episode of the crossover. And it felt a bit weird, but at the same time, it was a cool way of bringing back the other characters. Some of the villains came back to fight, like Malcolm Merlin and everything. And then you had like, the holograms, like Tommy showing up. I think Moira showed up. And yeah, so it was cool. Arrow's 100th episode was cool, but it's my least favorite so far. I thought the Flashes was really good. You got to see a return of Zoom, a different version of Savitar, and Reverse Flash showed back up, and it was really cool. Same with Supergirl's episode. I really liked it. Monel showed back up. Rain. You had all these good storylines going down, and I mean, for me, it's somewhere between the Flash and Supergirl. I think I like them pretty much the same because they both kind of paid off in a great way. And whilst I also thought that Arrows was great, I thought it was kind of a bit bad. I felt a bit bad for them that it was in the middle of the crossover. I think it would have been better maybe if it wasn't part of the crossover and it was like its own episode. Obviously, that was a good way to bring back their characters, but maybe it would have been more memorable if it was like a separate episode and then the crossover was like just a normal Arrow crossover episode. So Gary Gammon in the chat says, "Do you think Barry's parents will come back in the series finale?" In the series finale, so you mean series finale in terms of the final episode ever? I don't think they will come back alive. There is a possibility that they link the final episode back to how, you know, that night with Nora Allen, with his mom being killed by Reverse Flash. So possibly, Gary, I think that's very, very possible that when the Flash eventually ends, season 9, 10, whenever it's going to end, I would say, yeah, it's kind of likely that maybe Barry's parents show back up, sorry, and we'll see that in terms of will we revisit that night, because that night is very integral to all of the different seasons of the show, because we always go back to that. That's how Flashpoint started. Season 1 was so much about that, and you go back to that a couple of times. We keep on revisiting Nora Allen. In season 3 and Flashpoint, Barry went back to that specific timeline, and then obviously the timeline got messed up. That was Flashpoint, and yeah. Okay. So keep on sending in your questions. Good question there, Gary. Thanks for a good question. You're doing very good today. Okay. I had to yawn. I'm surprised that I'm staying up. Ever since Gary came in here, I've been energized. It's like Gary injected caffeine into me, and I was like, I can stay awake. Because like I said earlier, I had to be up very, very early to do the stream last night. Gary Gammon again sends in another question. Do you think we'll meet the original Barry Allen? Again, this is kind of linking into your last question, Gary. I think, this is the thing that we've discussed over the years about, will the original timeline version of The Flash, will we see Barry again? Will we see all these different versions of our characters who could have existed and did exist until that night? I think we'll revisit that night once again, definitely soon. And I think at that point we will see the original version of the Flash again, the original version of Barry. But I don't know how likely it is that we're ever going to get a sort of face-to-face proper conversation with that original Barry Allen, because it doesn't seem very likely. However, I would love it. I think that would be cool. And I think I would like to explore the opportunity, or kind of the idea, that we can go back to that original timeline and not mess it up, and just visit that timeline and see what would have happened and what turned out to be, because whatever happened to that original version of Barry Allen. Okay. Flashverse says, thoughts on Arrow season 8? Arrow season 8 was good. I liked it because it kind of set up Crisis, and I was very engaged because it was a lot to do with what was coming with Crisis, and I was naturally very excited for Crisis on Infinite Earths. Gary sends in the smiley face super sticker in the chat with the 99 cents. Thanks, Gary, once again. Much appreciated for the smiley face. Thank you, Gary. You keep us smiling. But yeah, so Arrow season 8, I liked it a lot. I know a lot of people complained that it wasn't a standalone season. My friend Declan McKinley, he obviously runs his own DCTV channel. You guys can check it out. It's called DC Central. And he's the biggest Arrow fan, but he hates Arrow season 8. He hates it because it was not a proper story. It was all about setting things up. It was about setting Crisis up, about setting Green Arrow and the Canaries up. Yeah, so that is people's complaint, but I liked it, actually. I thought it was engaging. Flashverse says, do you use certain keywords for your titles in order to boost your SEO score? So I'm not sure what SEO score means. I'm presuming that's something about search. If you could clarify that, I'll properly answer that, Flashverse. just let me know. Paige Bell sends in the 199 super chat. Thank you once again, Paige. First, nice hair. I guess that meant nice with the thumbs up. And Paige says, animated version of Supergirl. What do you think? So thank you for the compliment, Paige. Much appreciated. Thank you for that. Yeah, I got a haircut before the lockdown came in England. So I had to do that. Well, we got a bit of spam in the chat here. And in regards to animated version of Supergirl, what do I think? I think an animated version of Supergirl would be very cool, actually. If Supergirl goes off, I think Melissa would be down for like an animated version of Supergirl. That is a really good thought, Paige. I'm going to think about that more. Maybe I'll do a video on that because that would be a good way to bring Melissa back. Because the CW and Warner Bros. And DC have done some spin-offs of the Arrowverse that have been animated, and they've got people like Matt Ryan back to play Constantine, and you've had the Ray animated show. So I like that idea. That's very good, Paige. Good thinking right there. Maybe I'll give that some more thought. Maybe a video will come out of that because, yeah, you kind of blew my mind there. Kind of blew my mind a little bit. So that would be very, very cool. So yeah, I'm in for that. Could be likely. Could happen. Dark Shadow X says, Ben, who is your favorite Arrow villain? My favorite Arrow villain is definitely Prometheus. I really like Prometheus, and especially coming off of Arrow season 4, which I hated. Oh my god, Damien Dark was so bad. I really hated him. I don't know about you guys, but season 4 of Arrow, it was just not good at all. And then coming into season 5, I was hyped after the Comic-Con trailer where it showed Prometheus, and then Prometheus turned out to be fantastic. And season 5 honestly has nearly all of the episodes are fantastic, and I really like season 5, and Prometheus just really kicks out of the park for me. So yeah, that's my answer to that. Gary Gammon again with the 199 super chat. Thank you, Gary, once more for all of your contributions, especially this live stream. Much appreciated, Gary. You're always welcome around here. Gary says, do you think Flash season 9 will only have 10 episodes? What? So you mean like kind of what they did with Arrow, and they shortened their final season? I think that's unlikely. I think that was a thing to join Arrow into Crisis and to reach a point where they wanted to. I think the Flash will do a Supergirl and it will go a full season, like 20 episodes or something like that. So that would be my guess, Gary. But good question. So I'm just going to write down a few of these topics. These are very good topics. I like the idea of the animated show. I really like that for Supergirl. I think Melissa could come back for that. And then there's a good question by Gary in regards to season 9, and like if it's a final season, so the Flash's final season, how many episodes would it have? I would say could be a full season, but Gary says he predicts 13, or Gary also predicts that 10 would be like a possibility. Yeah, that could be true. I'm just writing down a few of these topics. I think they were very good and very interesting. So yeah. Anyway, yeah, good questions, Gary. And good questions to all of you. Paige, you did some very good ones as well. Yeah, so keep sending in your super chats, your questions in the chat, and we'll continue this. I mean, you guys are all still here, so may as well go on for a tiny bit longer, right? So Flashverse, he kind of he's clarifying on what you said before. Basically, to manipulate the algorithm in order to give out your videos, in order to recommend your videos to a larger audience. So I don't know how it specifically works per se, the SEO thing on YouTube, but in terms of keywords, obviously, you know, it depends on the video, and you keep it relevant. You don't want to keep it too crazy. I think always saying some. I think if you get too clickbaity, it's not good. But at the same time, I think something in the title needs to be intriguing, because I find that myself. If there's an intriguing title, I will click on it. So I don't try and clickbait like some people that outright clickbait, like emergency awesome clickbait. It's pretty hard. Like you say, for instance, using a trailer on his title when there's no trailer. The word trailer is frequently searched, so when he puts in the word, it gets him more clout. Um, for me, if I ever put trailer in the title, if I ever put it in the title, it's because I'm discussing when it's coming or when it's to be expected. I would never put trailer in the title if I don't ever discuss anything to do with the trailer. So obviously there is different keywords. You're right, but I mean, I guess it depends on the videos. It's very hard to get on recommended nowadays. So I don't know if I get recommended. Have you guys seen my videos and recommended? Sometimes recently my videos have a bit less views. I presume that's because they're not getting recommended as much, which is sad. But I mean, it happens when the show's on. But it's good to see your support, with you guys always tuning into the streams and actually watching the videos. It really means the most to me. Commenting on all of those videos, really good. Anyway, let's go on to Paige, and Paige sends in another super chat, 199. Thank you, Paige. And Paige says, Nora back before Flash ends would be nice. I agree, it would be nice. I think some people don't like season 5 that much of The Flash, but I've always liked season 5 of The Flash. I really liked it, especially because of Nora. I kind of ignore Cicada. Like, that doesn't exist in my mind. I think Cicada's just very average. But apart from that, the Nora stuff, and then later with Reverse Flash, man, it's so good. And so, yeah, I agree with you, Paige. It would be very nice if Nora returned at some point, because she is a great character. And I think possibly because, they got a few more seasons in The Flash and everything like that. Yeah, so we'll have to wait and see. Yeah, she was really good. I really liked her. Alex says, to be honest, I only watch Flash videos, not Supergirl videos. Yeah, I mean, it's all down to personal preference. I wouldn't hold that against you. I guess we're all the same. Sometimes you click on a video, sometimes you don't, or you have a YouTuber who you're always clicking on every video. Obviously, if that was me, that would be amazing. But it's all down to you guys and whatever you're feeling about those videos. But sometimes if it's like a Q&A video and it's like Supergirl in the title, I do end up talking about most of the DCTV shows. So I would recommend, Alex, if you're watching any of those and they turn out and they are a Q&A video, go check out, because there's probably The Flash mentioned and probably the other DCTV shows mentioned. Just if the title for a Q&A video is normally in regards to what is the most interesting topic that you guys have sent in, so that's why. In Legends, so Gary sends in another super chat for 199. Thank you, Gary. And Gary says, in Legends, do you think John and Zari will stay? And Alex says he stopped watching Pagey months ago. Wow. I mean, Pagey doesn't have a problem. He's got a lot of viewers. Pagey's got a lot of viewers. I don't know how he has it so consistently, but Beaming Frost doesn't watch Pagey or anything. But yeah, Pagey has a lot of viewers, which is crazy. Yeah, but my views kind of fluctuate. I mean, it's always pretty, there's always enough for you guys, but like sometimes it's just like the videos sometimes struggle to get on the recommended page and everything. So But sometimes it happens, like a month ago when Supergirl was announced to be ending. One of the videos kind of blew up and it got like 40,000 views or something. That's crazy, but that's kind of like normal for Pagey, so can't really compare. So Gary sends in the super chat with 199 and he says, in Legends, do you think John and Zari will stay together? Yeah, they could, but Gary, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a bit behind on Legends, so um I can't really talk too much in regards to Legends as of right now. I do need to catch up again. But yeah, possibly, Gary. I think there's a good chance. And thank you for the super chat. Sorry that I can answer it properly. Anyway, Hader says, I'm sure your views will go pick back up when the shows come back. Yeah, I hope so. I mean, always in the summer when there's it's mainly a lot of theorizing in the summer. It's a lot of Q&A videos and everything. And obviously recently we've had some kind of news with behind the scenes looks, but it's less so than normal because normally they would be out on the street more, but now they have to they sort of have more restrictions and everything, so a lot of stuff's inside, so it's a bit less leaks from the set. But apart from that, I mean, we're starting to get there. We should get a Batwoman trailer pretty soon. And yeah, so be on the lookout. No problem. It's all right, Alex. Yeah, it fluctuates. It was really good recently, and then kind of goes down a bit. I did take a break after my birthday for a few days, like 3 to 4 days, because I was just busy with birthday stuff, and yeah. My faves is the live streams. Yeah, thank you. I've been really enjoying doing the live streams recently, hence why I'm doing it a lot, like, once a week or something, and sometimes do a few extra live streams here and there. But yeah, no problem. I'm sure the videos will go back to normal once the shows come back on in January and February. And then we'll have Supergirl to talk about, the final season. I'm sure a lot of you guys will be interested about that. Yeah, we need to get Ben to 200k subs. Yes, that would be amazing. And if we could get like Pagey level viewers, that would be awesome. But it's kind of hard, and Pagey's been on YouTube longer than me. I remember, not even having my channel when it was the Flash season 2. I remember watching the Man in the Iron Mask. Who is the Man in the Iron Mask video from Pagey? So he's been around longer, and he was already pretty big back then. Ben, the reasons views can fluctuate is because of the switch of content. I'll DM you on Twitter if you want to know more about that. Yeah, much appreciated, Flashverse. If you send that, that would be really, really helpful. And I've been trying to contact YouTube for the longest time since before all this virus stuff happened. I contacted them. I got my plaque. I got my 100k plaque because we reached over 100k. Yeah, I'll see you in a minute, Walker Dead. So I got the plaque, and you can check that out on Twitter at the DCTVshow. It's like the first photo. I got that back in like May or something, and then I've been contacting YouTube, and they just, for the life of me, they won't verify the freaking channel. They won't give the tick. Pagey's got the tick and everything, and when you get 100k, you're supposed to get a tick, and apparently it helps with recommended and stuff. Because someone sees a verified channel, they're like, oh, I trust this, but they're just being really slow. They've been months and months and months. And they were like, honestly, because of the virus and everything, like, it's going to take such a long time. But it's taken a ridiculous amount of time. I just don't think they're processing it for anyone. So it would be awesome if we got the tick. That's the next thing I want. But yeah, and it always helps with you guys. You still need to it always helps out if you share the videos around on social media to people in real life who watch The Flash, Supergirl, any of the DCTV shows. Obviously that is a big help. But yeah. Okay. Gary Gammon says, "Do you have any siblings?" Yeah, I do. I have 2 brothers. That's about it. Um, but yeah, maybe you guys have reminded me I should contact YouTube again and see what the hell is up, and I'll update you in my next stream. Like, are they going to, you know, are they going to give me the tick or not? Like, I don't know what I've done wrong. Anyway, so remember, guys, we are, where are we right now? We're on the 1 hour 44 minute mark, and just a final reminder. These are just a few notes that I wrote down. In regards to some of the interesting topics we talked about. So you can send your super chat if you want via clicking the super chat button, and you can click super chat and you can type in any question you want as we head towards the end of the stream. But I don't know when I'm going to end it. Sometime next, 15 or so minutes, and you can write anything like, when will the flash end? Whatever you want. So if you are available to do super chat in your country and you have the ability to do so, it would be much appreciated. And also, one thing you can do, and it's a bit different, and it always helps out because it's a regular thing. It's like kind of like Patreon in a way. Some of you guys, like we saw Leslie in the stream earlier, she's a member of the channel, and to become a member of the channel is kind of the same. You can either click the join button here and become a member. There is 2 tiers that you can join, or you can click here, show your support for the DCTV show, and you can click join, and then this is it. So there's a $1.99 a month, or there's the $3.99 a month, and there's a video of me talking about it a long time ago. I look very different now, I feel like. And you can click join. You get loyalty badges next to your names. That's why when you saw one of our members come in and she had one of these things next to her name, it just notifies. And I mean, if you're a member, one of the perks is there's the DCTV show Discord. You can join in and we can talk on Discord. Either via voice chat, that is always an option. So I think that's a good thing if you guys are interested in talking about the Arrowverse and everything. If you become a member, kind of like Patreon, you will have access to my Discord, and we can talk over voice chat and everything, or via messaging on Discord. That yeah, you can just talk from there. Also, potentially, I think for the $3.99, you can also become a moderator on one of these live streams. So that is a way to support the channel, but also at the same time get some cool perks. So if you guys want to do that, that's either clicking the join button here. You can click that and it comes up with the same page, or you can click here and click join. So maybe some of you guys would be interested in that, because I think that's interesting, and you could be a moderator, you can talk, and I mean, I think a lot of you guys have, a lot to say in regards to the Arrowverse. So if you ever want to talk, become a member, join our Discord, and you can do that. Thanks, Beaming Frost. I really hope you've enjoyed this stream. I think this stream's been pretty good. We've been talking non-stop, and like it's just keep on going and going, so it's really good. Eric says you should put your siblings on chat video. That's been very exciting, Ben. Yeah, maybe at some point. Actually, I don't know if you guys remember, I did a kind of like when I did a video for Paige's channel. So a couple of times for April Fools on April 1st, because okay, guys, if you haven't been around for a while, always on April 1st there is see you later, John Mark Peterson. Always on April 1st, we do a prank video on the channel, either about news or anything. Like we said, Supergirl, Melissa will be leaving the show, but then she's going to be flying around as Supergirl in LA in real life. Fun things like that. But there's also, if you go back to those April 1st videos, for the last couple of years, there's been other people talking, and everyone's like, is this you? Has your voice changed? But maybe, just maybe, that is cameos from people, from other people. So maybe you heard my siblings before, or you've heard, other people in my life. That's interesting. Anyway, Gary sends in the 199 super chat. Thank you very much, Gary. And Gary says, how many breaks do you think Black Lightning will have? So I believe Black Lightning are having 13 episodes, and they will be premiering. I'm not sure when they're premiering, but we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, in terms of breaks, something like possibly one break, Gary. But I would say it's unlikely, if they only have 13 episodes, that they're going to break that much. So yeah, they could break, but one maximum. Really doubt it, though. I kind of am in the kind of mindset that a lot of these shows are going to continue. Oh, they premiere February 8th. Yeah, I remember now. Thanks for the reminder, Gary. I reckon they could go straight, but then they could also stop at one point as well. So that could be a thing that happens, and they could break for like a week or something if there's something going on the night where they air the episode. Yeah. So good question, Gary. Thanks for the contribution as always. And then we've got some of you guys, Flashverse, talking in the chat. Was I the only one who cried when Oliver died? And Alex says, I felt shivers when Oliver died, but I didn't cry. I don't think I cried when Oliver died. I think I got some sort of shivers as well. I think I was more along the lines of Alex right here, rather than what you're saying, Flashverse. I remember vividly crying when like Martin Stein died in the crossover a couple years ago. That was a big moment, I think. And so yeah, I think it was emotional, but I don't think I cried as far as I can remember. But maybe go check out my review. Maybe I would have mentioned it if I did cry or anything. So yeah. The only reason I can't join or super chat is because I'm a student and don't have an account. Don't worry, Alex. It's totally fine. I mean, it's all optional. It's just a suggestion if you can, because obviously you can get some cool perks and things like that, and you support the channel, and it's appreciated. But I mean, just by watching is plenty enough for me. But yeah, so if any of you are considering joining, you can do it. And if you join during a live stream, it shows up and it's pretty cool. But yeah, so I think we have. I need to check. I think the last time I checked, I had about 8 members on the channel, and so let me double check, because I'm interested to see, because it kind of fluctuates sometimes, and it depends on how much you kind of talk about it. YouTube memberships. Let's type it up. Ben is the go of DCTV theories. Thank you very much, Alex. Much appreciated. You need to join. You can join if you want. It shows up in the stream, and it's a big help page if you do. That would be awesome. Much appreciated if you do. And yeah, so you can join the Discord. We can talk, and we can talk about DCTV shows and stuff. So that's the whole idea of it. So we can, all of you guys who are the members of the DCTV show can engage. I can't seem to find how many members, but last time I checked, I think it was about 8 or 9 people, which is very cool. Anyway, let's get back to the tab. Okay, Flasher says, Ben, by the way, you do have a chance to blow up when Superman Lois premieres, because Superman is more popular superhero than the Flash, and since it's new, you can gain a following from that. Well, that's the idea. I'm going to be doing a Superman Lois videos, because number one, it's a Supergirl spin-off, and number two, I'm really excited for the show, because I think Tyler Hoechlin, sorry, is a great Superman, and I would love to see it. And I mean, yeah, I guess it could happen. We'll have to wait and see. Doesn't always happen in terms of the premieres, and it's always a bit weird at the start of the season. But you're right, it's Superman. It may be different. So thanks for the tip, Flash First. Again, you can send me the information you were talking about on Twitter. My Twitter's always open for you guys to send in stuff, or via Instagram at the DCTV show. If you guys have Instagram and Twitter, follow me. The DCTV show everywhere. Literally, that's all you need to type in, and you'll find me. So a lot of you send in, theory questions on Instagram, and lots of you send it on Twitter. I even got an email yesterday from one of you talking about Supergirl, and lots of you via the community tab or via, just YouTube comments and everything like that. So, I mean, you can send in your questions or anything anywhere, but yeah. Okay, so Gary Gammon says, oh, Paige can't find my join button. So the join button is literally here, Paige. This is the join button, and it works like that. And then you can choose this one or this one. This one, you can be a moderator on the stream, and you can also, what's it called? Join in Discord and everything. Or you can click this button and you can click join here. I mean, it does the exact same thing. But yes. Okay, let's read some of your other questions. So Gary Gammon says, do you think season 8 could have 24 a upgrade for the Flash season 8? Gary, I think it's very unlikely that the Flash will upgrade further than 22 episodes. I think the maximum ever was 22, possibly 23. I think 24 may be pushing it. I mean, if there's a vaccine and everything, obviously there's more of a chance that there's going to be more episodes in the future. But yeah, so I would say unlikely, but it would be cool if there was more episodes. I like when the Flash has a lot more. Kind of a little bit disappointed that the Flash is only having 18 episodes. I know it's like 2 episodes less than 20 than what it was supposed to have last season, but still. Yeah, 23 was standard till season 5. Yeah, I thought so. And after that, it was 22, and then it went down, and went down this last season to 19 due to the virus, obviously. And yeah, so I follow you on Instagram and ask you questions, and then we don't reply. Just open the messages. Oh, I can double check. Is just I get a lot of messages, and that's why sometimes I'm unable to reply, because there is a lot of messages to go through. Sorry about that, Strive. I'll have a look sometime later. Okay. So Paige, I hope you found your join button. And don't worry about anything. Flash Fast, I totally understand. Like, it's not possible from United Arab Emirates. What's your favorite crossover? Alex Singh asked. My favorite crossover, I mentioned that on the stream last night. It's Crisis on Earth X. I really like it. I mean, in terms of big crossovers, I'm talking 4-way crossovers. Crisis on Earth X. My favorite crossover ever is, I mean, I always say it's the musical crossover between Supergirl and the Flash, because I just love that episode. Or it's either the first Supergirl and Flash crossover in World's Finest, and then also you have Crisis on Earth X. I think those are my favorite crossovers. So yes. Alex says my favorite is Elseworlds. Actually, Duet was good too. You're right, Elseworlds was really good. I'm not gonna lie, I really liked Crisis on Infinite Earths, but I don't know. It just wasn't as good as Crisis on Earth X, and I think Elseworlds was even better. And uh, okay, yeah, all right, you do that page. Maybe it's not available on your phone. We'll have to wait. Um, yeah, and just let me know if you do that page via Twitter or something if if it happens, because I don't think there's a notification. The only way if someone joins the channel that there's a notification is if it's in a stream, because it pops up in the chat, kind of like a super chat. So just notify me if you've joined the channel at any point, because it would be good to know. Gary Gammon says my favorite crossover was Elseworlds at ES World. I guess that means Elseworlds. Yeah, so that's a good crossover, Gary. Yeah, so yeah, it's one of my favorites as well. Yes, Gary says yes, it's Elseworlds. World's Finest was the reason I started watching Supergirl. Well, I got a good story about World's Finest, about Supergirl and the Flash's first crossover, because when they actually did that, I knew they were crossing over, but I totally forgot. So I watched Supergirl since the start, and I was like, I was still like in school, and I was talking to my friends who watched shows and stuff, and I was like, guys, you should watch this. And this was before I created my channel, by the way, because uh, I created my channel around just before Supergirl season 2 started at the CW. And so, yeah, I was always like, you guys should check out, you watch Arrow and the Flash, you should check out Supergirl. It's very similar to these other shows. I love the show. It's like so good. So I've been watching it since the start, and I was always a big advocate of how good Supergirl was. And then World's Finest came, and I heard the Flash music playing. I heard the theme song, and I was like, where do I recognize this from? Then I was like, oh my god, it's the Flash. And then I was like, oh yeah, there's gonna be a crossover. And then the Flash, Barry comes running in, he saves Kara from falling out the building and everything. And yeah, so that was crazy, and I loved that. So that was my funny story. Flashverse says you used to post promo clips and sneak peeks when you first started. You're right. Yeah, that was how I first started. It was just like, I kind of I just like watching the shows and stuff, and I wanted to post something online just randomly, and somehow some of those videos, like there was this, if you guys remember Superhero Fight Club, there was like Superhero Fight Club 2.0 it was called, or we called it that. And it was really cool because that was like my first video that ever kind of blew up, and it was just like, showing that. And then there was a couple of times when we used to upload like trailers and some clips, and basically there was some kind of copyright issues, so I had to stop doing that. And the last trailer I think I put up was for Supergirl season 3. So I did it for a while, but then we've been doing talking videos for a very long time now, since the start of Supergirl season 2. I think my first video was about Miss Martian coming. It was before Supergirl season 2 came out, and so we talked about that. But yeah, anyway, so start sending in your final questions. I think I'm going to end the stream sometime in the next few minutes. So if you got anything else that you want to add, please be sure to send them in, and then we'll be sure to answer those final questions, whether they are normal questions via the chat or via super chat. So yes. Flashverse says Crisis on Earth Crisis on sorry, I can't speak. Crisis on Infinite Earths was the best for me. That's interesting. I mean, like, it's big event, biggest event possibly in the Arrowverse. Well, it was supposed to be, and it was a great crossover. So I can't argue with that, even though it's not my absolute favorite. Ben is the best DCTV YouTuber of them all. Thank you very much, Flashverse. Much appreciated. I'm going to watch that episode now. Good page. And yeah, let me know if you join the channel or not. So yeah, I think we're gonna wrap up the video just about now. So thank you guys so much for watching. This has been a very long live stream. I did plan for it to be a normal live stream and end, you know, like an hour ago, but it's been 2 hours since we started and been talking non-stop for 2 hours. I guess I gotta drink some water or something, and take a break. Because we were on Eric's live stream last night, the after party with Paigey, and it was very late. And yes, okay. So thank you guys for watching, and we will see you guys next week. Remember, we will be streaming. I don't know what specific date it's going to be on. Sometime around this, I would say it's probably either Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. It seems like those dates are the best right now for us. So stick around. Always note this down, Gary, especially you, Gary. Note this down. If I live stream, it's going to be sometime between 5 p.m. No, actually probably like 6 p.m. till like 10 p.m. UK time. And then if it starts at 10, then we'll continue till like 11 p.m. UK time. So normally the earliest we stream is about 6 p.m. UK time. So be on the lookout for that. And I will announce it on my videos, community tab, Twitter, and Instagram as well when the next live stream is going to be. So thank you for all of your support. And thank you. And yeah, so I'll catch you guys later. Thanks for tuning in. And yeah, goodbye. And it is currently 8:22 in the UK, and we started streaming about 6:20, I think, or 6:15. All right, I'll see you guys later, and adios. Goodbye.